PCN is brought to you in part by the following underwriters.
Welcome to PCN, your local community news source for the South Shore. We have a great show this week where we'll take you to several spring parties, including the Habitat for Humanity Spring Fling and the Toast to the Arts Awards.
We learn what it takes to put on a road race in our local towns, which are popular venues for fundraisers. And we hear about the very important topic of water from a water symposium held at Plymouth Plantation.
Health and Wellness brings us to Healthy Appetites to hear about a versatile herb, and Town Talk brings Kingston's town administrator to the set.
We've got a great show ahead of us, and we start off with some talented youth in Kingston. What better way for two best friends to end their high school acting careers than to write, direct, and act in one final play together? That's just what two seniors from Silver Lake High School are doing, and they couldn't be happier. While their future acting careers remain uncertain, their past theater arts experiences have shaped who they are now and really helped them prepare for this latest endeavor.
Being able to co-write and co-direct this show with my best friend has been amazing. It's been something that she and I have been dreaming of since sophomore year. When we took Mrs. Bates' classes, we knew that we wanted to bring back the Shakespeare Festival tradition because it's something that had been going on and then stopped the year before we were freshmen. And so getting to experience that with my best friend has been amazing because she and I have always worked well together. So to be able to do that with her before we go off to college has been such a great opportunity for me. I feel like in school we read a lot of tragedies, and a lot of the books that we read even in English class are very, dark and morbid. So it's nice to be able to write something that actually has a happy ending and actually makes people laugh and just have fun with it. And it's nice to be able to just joke around on stage and just have fun. I've been in theater pretty much all my life. I think I was around 7 when I was in my first show. And it's been a really big part of my time, especially here at the high school. I've been in every show since my freshman year. I actually started theater when I was a sophomore because I didn't really think about doing that beforehand, and it was actually Emily that brought me into the theater itself. She was like, "It's so much fun, you should try it." So, I did it a few years ago, and I've been doing it since sophomore year, so it's been really fun, and it's been like getting better each year. Being in theater since I was young, it's really helped me. I think it's encouraged teamwork because you have an entire cast and crew of people that you have to work with. It's encouraged me to have more confidence to be on stage and to act in front of people. Being stage crew manager this past winter was a huge thing for me because I have a lot of trouble dealing with stress and dealing with a lot of things happening at once, but that's what being stage manager is. So I think that really helped me deal with anxiety and to learn how to be calmer in hectic situations, and also encouraged my leadership skills. And then being the co-director and writer of All Shaked Up has had a similar effect on me. It's really enhanced my leadership skills. I'm gonna miss this so much. Drama has really it's opened my eyes to basically a lot of other possibilities for me to be able to pursue in the future. I had never really imagined myself being like a theater kid before this, and now that I've actually experienced it for the past few years, I feel like it's just been such fun, and I feel like I would love to just continue this for as long as I possibly can.
And go! We all know water is important, but sometimes it's really hard to fathom just how important. Water makes up our oceans, rivers, aquifers, and lakes. It even makes up 75% of our bodies. But what can we do to protect water together? Recently, local watershed associations teamed up for a conference to discuss just that, and PCN stopped in to learn a little more about this water resource and the future of its conservation.
So we're here at the Plymouth Plantation in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and we're at the Future of Water in Southeastern Massachusetts conference. This is a conference put on by local watershed coalition, Southeastern Massachusetts Watershed Associations put this together. in hopes of networking both people concerned with the environment and local decision makers throughout southeastern Mass to learn and share from each other different techniques that we can learn, different ways we could collaborate to protect and restore the health of our watersheds, rivers, streams, ponds, and the ocean. So the biggest goal that we had with this particular conference was really just to unite people regionally around watershed issues, and because water is something that affects us all, and yet there's no structure in place for us to manage it.
A pressing subject made its way into headlines for the luncheon. It seems even locally the matter of climate change hits us all too close to home.
My presentation today was watershed management in a warming world. The purpose of the presentation was to help people understand better climate change impacts in southeastern Massachusetts and what we can do in terms of watershed management to help create a resilient, healthy, thriving watershed situation going forward. I'm hoping to inspire people to really advocate for the inclusion of green infrastructure in regional planning decisions and local planning decisions. When we update comprehensive plans, open space plans, etc., we need to be cognizant of the green infrastructure resources that we've got on a regional basis and try to link that up with local planning efforts.
The topic of climate change clearly stirred the room with questions, concerns, and insights.
And experts have determined what things we should be looking at as sentinels for being able to figure out what is changing over time as a result of climate change in particular.
Well, certainly a sense of urgency is warranted. At the same time, I want people to understand that we've got concrete steps that we can take. And in particular, if we protect the existing intact natural resource base in southeastern Massachusetts, it goes a long ways towards both limiting tax burden associated with new gray infrastructure and maximizing resiliency, particularly to flood threat associated with climate change going forward.
The afternoon continued with other important issues like drinking water, stormwater, wastewater, and of course, recreational use of water.
How difficult of a change do we think this is going to be?
With almost no uniform model or government structure in place to manage our most coveted resource, watershed associations are left with limited options to manage and protect water.
So the only way we can do it is through networking. There's lots of different places within our communities that touch water, in the governments, for instance, and locally with our local citizen activist groups. And we wanted to bring people together to network largely, to share information, and hopefully out of this will come collaboration on different projects in the region. Our hope is next year to do this again, to make this an annual event so that we can continue to have a growing network of partners to work on the issues facing our region.
With some collaboration and some care, the Future of Water in Southeastern Mass Conference pledged to carry their mission of protecting water resources outside of the day's panels and discussions. And with hope, we'll together create partnerships that protect our water for generations to come.
I've decided to conserve water, and I started this about a year ago. I shower less. About once a week now.
Once a week, whether you need it or not.
That's right.
Well, did you know, Brian, that in Plymouth we have the second largest aquifer in the state?
In the state?
Mm-hmm. And it serves many, many towns in this whole region. So it's this is a fabulous topic, really important to protect our water. It's not going to last forever if you use it all up and overuse. So
I ran into some people that went through a lot of water just a couple of weeks ago at a road race. Have you noticed all the people running around with paper numbers pinned to their clothes lately? So have we. If it seems like they're everywhere, it's because the long winter we just got over delayed so many of these charity road races that they're all being made up for in a short period of time. For Anne-Marie Winchester, that means her life just got even busier than usual. Winchester organizes many of these charitable races, and we met up with her over at Miles Standish State Forest just before a race to find out just how she does it.
With the warm weather finally making its way to the Northeast, we can officially kick off road race season. And if you think it's hard work training for these races, you should try organizing them.
The biggest problem with organizing a race is if you've never done it before, there are a lot of moving parts. So you have to do permitting, you have to talk to the police, you have to talk to the selectmen in most of the towns. There are just a lot of moving parts to it, and it's important to do them in the right order, and it's important to make sure that you don't forget the little details, and there are so many of them.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming out this morning.
A race like today's takes about 6 months to prepare for, and now we're seeing it come to its fruition.
For Anne Marie Winchester, the charity component has always been the reason she does what she does.
Each year, as the company has grown and the races have grown, the amount of money that is being donated to local charities has significantly increased every single year. And that's why I do what I do, because there are so many people out there that need help. We keep all the money locally. We do business with all local vendors. If I buy t-shirts, I'm buying it from somebody in the town where the race is because I want to keep the money in the town.
And she'll even admit that her race organizing company kind of happened by accident.
I started helping out some charities with their races. People started finding me and asking me to do the same for them, and it's a charity-based organization. That's what I do. I raise money for other companies.
Thanks to the prolonged winter, Anne Marie now has a full dance card as we head into race season. Now she's trying to just play catch-up.
I've got actually 7 in the month of May because the winter created a lot of races being postponed, this being one of them. Actually, this was supposed to happen back at the beginning of April. The roads weren't in any condition to use, so everything that was postponed on top of the regular race schedule, between May and June there, I've got 15 races.
Despite the hectic schedule and all the busy work that goes into her job, Anne Marie Winchester still has one main objective.
That everybody had a good time, that everybody stayed safe out there, and that they want to come back again next year.
Reporting from Miles Standish State Forest in Plymouth, Brian Sullivan, PACTV Community News.
Project Arts of Plymouth held their Art Recognition Awards this month, celebrating individuals and organizations who have contributed to the arts and culture of our communities. Many were nominated, and PCN stopped into the gala to hear more about this prestigious award and its deserving nominees.
This is the Project Arts of Plymouth first Artie Award event. It's called A Toast to the Arts. It recognizes people that go above and beyond in the arts in the community. Some of whom are in line for Heritage Awards tonight because they have been doing this for 40, 50 years. They have been donating money back to the community, finding money, supporting nonprofits, supporting arts organizations, and it goes on and on. Other Artie recipients tonight are people that have gone above and beyond in the last 2 or 3 years. And one of the finalists is this building itself, Spire and GPAC, which is the group that manages it. They're 100% nonprofit, and they were a group of people that got together and created this. We also have the Plymouth Arts Center, which is where the Plymouth Guild of the Arts is at. And they did the same thing about 10 years ago. And so we have this incredible art center in Plymouth as well.
One of my best friends who's no longer with us, Honey Weiss, was one of the people who named it and was very involved, both with the Art Guild for many, many years and then with the Cultural Council. So it's important because we have so much going on here at Plymouth. We have so many historical events that happen in so many historical places, but we also have an amazing art community and cultural community and theater community, and our own Philharmonic. So it's pretty terrific to live in this town and be able to partake of all of these wonderful opportunities.
Yeah, Plymouth has one of the best local music scenes outside of Cambridge and Somerville, in my opinion. South Shore in general has an amazing music scene, and it's just a great way, especially here at the Spire and with the Artie Awards, to honor people in the artist community that are so deserving of awards and recognition.
We run theater about a third of the time. We have concerts 2/3 of the time. We do it every weekend. We have national acts in here, and we also feature local and regional musicians of many different genres of music. So there's quite a bit for everyone's taste that appears here, and there's nothing like it on the whole South Shore. It's a listening room. We've designed it with the best sound system, the best lighting, and we brought an acoustic engineer here to make sure everything's perfect. And it's not a bar, it's not a club. People come in here to hear great music, and they can.
And so I got just a couple of words to say. Well, the reason why that I'm here tonight is that I was nominated for one of the Artie Awards for what they call it, going above and beyond for the sake of the community and the arts. So it's an honor to be here, but I would have been here anyway because I'd be taking photos of it for the old colony and for the project arts. That I will give them all the photos after the paper runs them. So that's kind of how it all has started and gone about for the last 7 years. But it's doing something I love for the first time in my life. I spent my whole career in the corporate world not really happy about that. But now I'm doing something I have a passion for.
But I am very happy to see that finally, in the town of Plymouth, we are beginning to honor the arts. It was a void that this community didn't have for many, many years. It now fulfills an entire community. We have the Plymouth Rock, we have much history, and we have now the arts being really spotlight.
Well, I think arts are really important because right now I'm actually an engineering student. It's super techy. And I go to a technology school, and everyone always kind of overlooks, you know, the innovative process, the idea that the arts are really important. And, you know, if you don't know how to get across your idea, if you don't know how to express yourself in a really good way, then your idea doesn't matter.
Part of it is that people think being in the arts is being an actor or being a painter, but I think you can learn a lot from the arts just by taking part of them. And then you can bring that into the business world, and you learn all these skills that other people aren't going to have because they're not as personable, because they didn't learn like the things you can learn from doing theater or like going into a drawing class, stuff like that.
You know, Brian, I got to tell you, I'm so impressed with Aspire. What an incredible place, and it just took off, you know, and it's like everyone goes there. We've done so many stories at the Spire of all kinds of arts, and it's just, of course, great to have the Toast of the Arts there as well. It's
just great knowing, you know, not only do we have a place to celebrate the arts, but we have that many people in this town that are interested in the arts and music and culture. It's kind of refreshing.
It's a huge art town. It's really wonderful.
It's gala season. It's race season. And we've gone to another gala, and this was the Habitat for Humanity Spring Fling Gala. Year in and year out, the Habitat for Humanity reaches out to the less fortunate to help build a stronger community. This year, they've made a concerted effort to reach out to veterans, and they used their annual Spring Fling Gala to announce plans to build homes on Long Pond Road in Plymouth for veterans in need.
The Habitat for Humanity's annual Spring Fling Gala enjoyed a pretty good-sized crowd. The attendees, they're not all part of the wealthy donor class either. It's a lot of regular folks who do great things for needy people all year long.
A lot of the people who are here tonight are volunteers who work on the construction sites, who are out doing sponsorships, board of directors, and others that have heard about it through various media. Tonight we have dinner, dancing, we have a live auction, a silent auction, raffles.
The annual Spring Gala is a great chance for them to celebrate all the good deeds they've done over the past year, as well as recruit some potential new volunteers.
Drew Cook was one of those interested volunteers just 6 years ago. Now he's president of the board of directors.
I didn't know the first thing about construction when I started here. I just figured I was kind of, large. I could probably help move things around, which I can. But then they also taught me how to, lay floors and frame and do a lot of different things. So now I have some skills.
That skill set will come in handy for the group's latest endeavor in building homes for veterans.
This is a really interesting project because it's land set aside by the town of Plymouth at town meeting. And there'll be 3 houses. It's down off of Long Pond Road. 3 homes that we'll be building. Hopefully we get the permits in the next year, and we'll be building them. It'll take probably a year and a half to build all 3.
To raise money, there were some incredible items up for bid in the silent and live auctions. There were works of art, an African safari, gift baskets from local vendors, and plenty of raffle items. While it all happens in one night, the planning takes a little longer.
It's a process that takes about a year to get the whole gala going, and it's been extremely successful over the past couple of years, and it's getting even more successful.
This is really a wonderful partnership with the town, citizens of the town, and also with the veterans in the area, and with Habitat, and a lot of other people, businesses and civic organizations are pitching in to help out with this.
It is for raising money, but I want people to join Habitat, to get more involved, to reach out more into the community, and so that they can also know what we're doing.
At the Radisson in downtown Plymouth, I'm Brian Sullivan, PACTV Community News.
Our health and wellness segment takes us to Healthy Appetites in Plymouth to learn more about a simple yet powerful herb.
This is Jeff Hills. I own Healthy Appetites in Plymouth. This is the PCN Health and Wellness segment. I want to talk to you about an herb that's great for urinary incontinence. I also want to talk to you about an herb that's great for seasonal allergies and for migraines. Luckily, they're all the same herb. It's called butterbur. In a small study, 24 women took butterbur for 8 weeks. 17 of them found that their symptoms subsided in just 3 weeks. Women who were going as frequently as every 30 minutes were now able to go as long as 2.5 hours without having the urgency to urinate. The most popular use for butterbur is for migraines. Butterbur works on migraines by relaxing the tiny muscles in your blood vessels. It's a potent vasorelaxer. So when your blood vessels are doing this, butterbur gets them to do this. If you're wondering if it's effective, 500,000 Germans use it as a prescription drug for migraine headaches and also for seasonal allergies. Turns out butterbur is also a potent antihistamine. In multiple European studies, researchers have found that butterbur works as well, and in some cases better, than the over-the-counter allergy medications Zyrtec and Allegra, without any of the drowsiness and fatigue associated with those 2 drugs. So, there you go. If you have urinary incontinence, if you've got migraines, if you've got seasonal allergies, if you're one of those women of a certain age who sneezes and pees your pants, you know who I'm talking about, take some butterbur.
We are back with Town Talk, and today we have Kingston's Town Administrator Robert Fennessy on the set. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me again.
And we're going to talk about your continuation of the town meeting, and I believe it's on June 2nd.
Correct. We started a town meeting in April, and we deferred all the financial issues to June, so we get a better handle on what was going on with the state, as well as our own budgets, and if there needed to be any adjustments. So that's happening, but there's also a few other articles on the warrant. There's a couple of street acceptances that we will look at, and there's also an article for the wage and personnel bylaw changes. And there's some position changes and some other things that are going on. So it's important for people to get out there to come to town meeting on June 2nd. The biggest article, obviously, is the operating budget. And without that passing, then the town shuts down. And
what do you have to wait on from the state? How does that? Not every town does it this way. So what are you guys waiting on from the state?
We get a better handle on what the funds are for schools. The Chapter 70 funds. We just got the Chapter 90 funds appropriated.
Was it what you expected?
Yeah, it was kind of level funded. But if we do it early, we don't have that ability to go back without calling another town meeting, a special town meeting or something. So a lot of towns now are doing that, deferring the meetings until June. And a lot of towns are actually changing their meetings to June. So it'll be a one-stop shopping, so to speak,
okay.
in June, instead of breaking it up into
Okay.
two. Because it's difficult to get people to show up for these things,
Yes.
even though it's so important. And it's probably the purest form of democracy to come in and be able to speak on an issue.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, they're very, very important, and I hope everyone comes out. So June 2nd, where?
June 2nd at the intermediate school.
Okay.
Also, we're going to have a special town meeting within that town meeting. And some of the articles on that, well, one major one is that next year our election falls actually on Passover on the day, and it's also in that school vacation week. So we're concerned that we won't have a big turnout. So we're looking at changing that date of the election.
And that's what people need to vote on that change.
Yes, that'll be at the
And
town
you have a
meeting.
date in mind that you're going to change
We
it
don't.
to?
They're still working on it. We opened the warrant. The warrant is actually closing tonight for the special town meeting warrant, and then we'll review it and set that. So.
And on to another topic of summer fun. You guys' big Memorial Day parade is coming up. You want to talk about that?
Summer fun. It's really not summer yet,
Almost.
but although it seems like it with the
gateway to
weather.
summer,
Correct.
right.
And one of the big events in Kingston is the Memorial Day parade. Town goes all out with the parade. We ask any veteran that would like to march can march with us. Usually it's all the town officials and band and different groups that march in it. It starts at the elementary school where the staging is, and it meanders up 3A and down to Evergreen Street to the town hall. And there's a couple of stops along the way to pay tribute to some of the veteran monuments.
Great. Do you guys usually get a good turnout?
We do. We do. It's weather dependent, on the
PACTV
turnout.
covers it.
And that's great. Yeah.
And next month also, I just want to mention that our in-depth show is focusing all on Kingston. So we have a bit about dredging with the harbor master, police building, the library building, as well as the open space survey.
Yeah, and all I can say about that is it's about time. So thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it as always. Thank you. Thank you for watching and this week's show, and we want to hear from you. So if you have a story or a person that we want to profile in your town, just give me a call or an email, kim@pactv.org. Our website also has lots of information and links to all our stories, and you can also find us on YouTube. Please follow us on social media, and you can get links and previews there as well. We will see you next week on PCN.